I'm rising. It's Friday. It is the first time that I am on in 2024. So, had an interesting start to 2024. I'm not going to say the year. I'm going to say 2024 because it's not the new year. And have had a tremendous amount of physical pain that I've been working through the last week. But there's also, and I think that many people can probably relate to this time of the year for many people is very depressing. For why? Why do people get depressed when it is the start of another date or time? What's up, everybody? A lot of times between Christmas and then the New Year's, there's all this excitement building up to a holiday. You get to spend time with friends and family and all these other things. And then there is just this silent period. And it's like, people put emphasis on this new year. And I have to do something and I have to change something. And most of the time, people just don't know what that change is supposed to be. You know, people are like, oh, I have these resolutions and all this hoopla. When the reality is we should be doing this every day of our lives of like how we can make our journey here better, more inspiring, right? So a lot of people do tend to get depressed around this time of the year, but we're going to talk about, before we get into two different books, one is a new book. We're just going to talk about that journey and how we can get out of that. Myself and Lindsay, who I've had on my live a million times, and she does my retreats with me. She was in a very dark space. And I said, Linz, you're not the only one. Because I feel it too the same time every single year I get like this. So I said, if you were in the right place at the right time, you would not be feeling like this. Justin, what's up? You wouldn't be feeling like this. If every single one of us was exactly where we were supposed to be, would we be sad? Would we be unfulfilled? Would we feel lack? Would we feel like there's just something more? We really wouldn't, right? Yes, I'm in a seasonal funk. Marissa says, I got to get out of New York. And especially for any of us, that are in colder temperatures, it's very gray. The sun is not out most days. So we get into these spaces of what am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be going? My life is not where I want it to be. So how do we get out of these things? So what I usually do is I'll just take out a journal, a piece of paper, or anything like that. Literally write down. So I always say this too. When you ask people what they want, more often than not, they don't even know. So they realize they're unhappy. They realize that they're unfulfilled. I'm waiting for the sun every morning. I can't imagine not being in a warm climate like Florida. I know, Justin. I know. So write down what it is that you want. Because most people don't know. I'm unhappy. I'm miserable. I'm unfulfilled. I don't like the way that my life is. I hate my job. But when you ask somebody what it is that they want, 9 times out of 10, they can't even tell you. So if you don't know what you want out of your life, how could God or the universe give you what you want if you don't know what that is, if you don't know what that looks like? These damn dishes ain't gonna get done themselves. They're not, Joe. So the dishes that we keep leaving in the sink, the dishes that we keep leaving in our mind that need to be washed so that they're clean and ready to be used again, that is our mind. It's doing the dishes in our mind, doing the work that we don't want to do, which is getting very specific. Because if you ask people, okay, well, what do you want? You're unhappy. What do you want? Well, I don't know. When people say that they don't know, it's because the things that they want, they don't believe that they can have, which is the whole manifestation journey. We are manifesting every single day, 24 hours a day, even while we're asleep. The subconscious mind does not ever turn off. I lived like that for years. I didn't know, and I drove myself crazy. And I have done that many times in my life where I'm just like, I know I'm not happy. I don't want to be here, wherever that was. I don't feel fulfilled. But it was like I was frozen because I wouldn't get honest enough with myself because I'm like, well, I could never have that, right? When I had this lack mindset. So I wouldn't even dream that I could have the things that I really, really wanted. Because I'm just like, no, I can't have that. So again, manifestation is the blind faith that you already have something. You see it in your mind, you do your visualizations, like when you're daydreaming about something. That's manifesting. So if you're daydreaming about having a fight with somebody, you're manifesting that. If you're daydreaming about having your dream house, wherever that is, you're manifesting. If you do it all the time, you're bringing it closer to you. If you feel it and you're like, oh my God, I love that. Or if you're doing that visualization, then right after that, you're just like, yeah, but I can never have it. Whatever your dominant state of being is what manifests. So if you visualize and you visualize all the things that you want, and then right after that, you're just like, I'll never have that. I could never have that. That's your subconscious belief system telling you you'll never be able to have that. You can't afford that. Keep dreaming. You'll never have this person. You'll never have the marriage that you want. You'll never have the family life that you want. That house is just a dream house. It's never going to be yours. And then there are other people that walk the earth that just believe everything comes to them. I can have whatever I want. It doesn't matter if you're arrogant. It doesn't matter if you're nice or you're not nice. It's your belief system behind it. And I tell this to people all the time because people say, well, how do I just stay positive all the time? Manifestation has nothing to do with positivity. Look at all the mean assholes in the world that have everything that they want. It has nothing to do with them being nice. It has them to do with the vibration they put out that I get everything that I want. I get everything that I want easily and effortlessly because, Jesus, God, I'll give you an example. I went on to, I started following somebody, on the page, the main, whatever the hell it's called, that you just see random accounts, and this guy came up and it was like inspirational stuff. So I started to follow him, and then I realized that all this person talked about is how many women did him wrong, and every person in the comment section is just telling him it's all going to be okay, and you're so inspiring, and oh my God, this happened to me too. And this person, all he does is talk about how women treat him wrong and they leave him, and he's a good looking guy. So of course, May see that. I go on and I comment on there, and I said, I talked about your subconscious beliefs and blah, blah, blah. So about a couple weeks later, someone responded to me and just like started mouthing off about the subconscious and all this stuff, having no clue what she was talking about. And then he chimed into it and, said that this is absolute thinking and it's not black and white. And this is not, how it goes. And there's more ways than one and blah, blah, blah. You can have our feelings are a matter of opinion. They're what we feel. But when you're talking about something that is basically science, how the human brain works, you don't get to say 1 + 1 = 3. 1 + 1 = 2, and that's the end of that story. So when you talk about the subconscious mind, this is the way that it works. It's not a matter of opinion. So this person, I was telling them about how you're attracting the same woman over and over again that you keep talking about on all of your things. You're attracting this type of person because this is your belief system. This is what you believe to be true in the depths of your being. Because maybe your mother didn't give you the love that you needed. Maybe you were abandoned as a child. Maybe you were abused. So you always think that people are going to do you wrong. It is a subconscious belief system and programming that you don't get to choose or have an opinion about. It's simply there as a computer programming until you reprogram your subconscious mind and belief system. So that was just an example of how I said to him, we attract what we are, not what we want. So no matter what it is what road you take in life, you can be the hardest worker in the room and still not get the things that you want because in your belief system, in your subconscious programming somewhere, you don't believe that you can have it. So I'm going to get into the science of getting rich and new book today that was sent to me by Dr. Stacy, one of my favorite people on earth. Such an amazing and brilliant woman. She sent me the Magic Path of Intuition by Florence Scovel Shinn. And my sisters read this woman's work for a long time, and I never actually have. This is my first book. I've seen quotes of hers and things like that, but my sister really loves her. So this is The Magic Path of Intuition. I love you, Joe. Thank you. I'm currently single. I know there's a woman that's manifesting to find a man like me. That's the belief. Okay, that is, before I get into this, that is the space that we come from. But instead of, Benny, the only thing that I would say, you said, I am currently single. So you're affirming that. Take that out. Or maybe you're just saying that in the chat. I know there is a woman that wants a man exactly like me. Or, I am with the absolute love of my life. I prefer that because it's present tense. Because so let's erase that. Erase that. If we say something in future tense, I know that there's someone. Sorry, I'm erasing that. I know that there's someone out there for me. I know that there's someone out there for me. So that could mean, I know that there's someone out there for me from 10 years from now. I know that there's someone out there for me next that's going to come to my life next week. Like, what are the specifics of that? So when it comes to the knowingness of having the things that we want, it's the knowingness of already having, right? So every day I think of, oh my God, I'm just so happy and grateful. It's being delusional. It's being delusional. What about being single? What is the question about that? It's literally being delusional with yourself, because I'm going to show you why. And Benny already knows this. But sometimes we just say things and we're just like, oh yeah, no way. The name of the book is The Magic Path. It's a very small book. The Magic Path of Intuition by Florence Scovel Shinn. The House That Faith Built is where we're going to start. It's chapter 7. The House That Faith Built. In any type of, because when people say, I'm trying to manifest, manifestation is not about trying. It's about shifting your state of being. That's all that it's about. It's about shifting your state of being. I'm not trying to manifest this. I'm shifting my entire self, my entire belief system. That is the challenge, is shifting your belief system. Oh, that's what the hell I was going to say about, that's why I mentioned the guy that I commented on this thing, that you could be literally manifesting two separate things from two separate belief systems. Because you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You said I could only attract what I am, or whatever he said, I don't remember. But the point of that is you can be so abundant in love in your life, and you attract love all the time. And I'm so in love and everything. I'm so happy and grateful that I have the love of my life, and you're actually with the love of your life. And then at the same time, you could also have a poverty mindset. So because you are in the abundance that love comes easy to you, maybe you believe, your subconscious belief is that money comes really hard to you. Or maybe you're so good at making money, but your subconscious belief about love is, I'm never chosen. I'm not worthy of love. I'm always abandoned. Maybe a parent abandoned you. Maybe whoever was taking care of you wasn't there for you. But they were rich and they were wealthy, and you saw the way that they made money. So you had that belief system. Money is so easy to come to me. But you also have the belief system that love does not come easily for me. So you can literally be attracting two different things, but you're like, but I'm so good at this one thing. Because someone asked me, how could you be so good at attracting one thing? What's the difference? How did you attract one thing, but not the other? Some belief systems are so deeply rooted that other things are more towards the surface. Let's say you were abused, you were emotionally abused, you were physically abused, you were sexually abused when you were a child. It's going to be so much more difficult for you to attract love that you truly deserve, rather than love that reflects the type of love that you got, which was the abusive type of love, because some people equate that to love, because that's a program, compared to, a money system or a money mentality that doesn't affect you as deeply as your abuse and what happened to you. So someone's going to be able to shift their mindset to making so much money and being abundant in money, but it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to reprogram or rewire the brain to accept love, or that love comes easy to me. So we're going to get into lesson 7. This is page 31. This book is very small, but it's very, very powerful. There's a lot of really good stuff in here. The Magic Path of Intuition by Florence, Scovel, Shinn. So let's get into it. Faith is simply knowing that God can do it. From Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So if we can look at the Bible from a very different perspective, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. So like the power of prayer. When people pray, when there's a big group of people praying for someone's healing, that is faith being the substance of things hoped for. Like, you're seeing this person healed. You're seeing this person healed in your mind. The evidence of things that are not yet seen. That's what prayer is. It's the evidence of things not... I have faith that this is going to happen, even though I don't see the evidence in my three-dimensional reality. So again, that's from Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This is a scientific statement. For as we live in a sea of magnetic force called the mind stuff, what we imagine is impressed upon this sensitive substance and crystallizes sooner or later on the external. The experiences you meet in life are your own creations. Now this triggers a lot of people. I'm not making this up. This is things that are written everywhere in books, documented through science, that our thoughts are what we become. Oh, so you're telling me that a person just wished that they were raped? I talked about this before. And someone else was on here that was a therapist of sexual abuse survivors. And many people that I've talked to, many things that I've read, that a lot of these people that help people that are victims of sexual abuse often will then get into relationships that also are abusive. They will somehow are the person that was attacked or the person that was raped and things like that. Because it's your fault? No. Because you want it? No. But it is that subconscious programming. And so besides when you're a child, if something traumatic happens to you, that automatically jams that into your subconscious mind. If you get into a car accident, God forbid, when you were 20 years old, that automatically jams trauma into the subconscious. So you're always afraid of getting into cars. You're afraid of being around cars and all these things because you have this belief that you're going to be hurt. So I don't remember whoever was in here, but they said the majority of their clients that now have issues with sexual abuse in their later life were people that were sexually abused when they were younger. People that get into abusive relationships later in life were people that were abused when they were children. Why? Because it is a subconscious belief. It is something that people are not aware of. It's like you're wearing a sign, but it's the subconscious. It's a frequency that is put out into the world. Is it because it's your fault? No. It is a programming. So your computer can only put out the information that is uploaded into it. So if you have a belief system that you're not loved, that signal, it keeps going out, and it's going to keep having people show up that are not going to love you. I had a joke, like when I was younger with my friends, they're like, oh my God, like you literally date the same guy over and over again in a different body. Why? Why is that? That we attract the same people over and over and over again. Because it's literally like we're wearing a sign that's saying, all dysfunctional people, I want to date you. All people that will treat me like shit, I want to date you. Anyone that's abusive, hey, come fill out an application. I'm just giving that as an example. Not that that was me, because I was never in an abusive relationship. Whatever. We're not going to get into that because I'm too strong of a person to ever be in something like that. So, I'm also too crazy for a person that would ever think to even do something like that. So, it is basically like that, like you're wearing a sign that attracts these things, or someone's like, oh, look, it's that person right there. It's because it is your programming. There isn't any two ways. if you're literally attracting the same kind of people into your life all the time, whether it's in business, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in friendships, it is because you're holding the sign and those people are like, oh, it's that person. Everyone is you pushed out is one of the most famous Neville Goddard quotes. Every person that is attracted into your life is reflecting you, whether it's good or bad. What does everyone is you pushed out mean? It means if I'm attracting that abusive partner to me, it's because that's my beliefs that I have about myself to be true. That I don't deserve a loving relationship. I deserve someone that's going to abuse me because I was probably abused as a child. I was probably neglected as a child. I was probably abandoned as a child. I probably wasn't treated the way I was supposed to be as a child. I wasn't loved the way that I was supposed to be. So that's the only sign that you're holding that people are reading, and people that literally are going to reflect that back to you, they're going to come and sign up for your class. They're going to come and sign up for a course in your life. You're not crazy, Crystal. You were authentic. Thank you. I think our subconscious mind advertises that we have trauma. And that's literally, it's the advertisement. You're holding the sign. All dysfunctional morons apply here. That's all that it is. So our frequency that we're putting out is that invisible sign that's telling those same people, this is what I deserve. So everyone is you pushed out. Everyone is mirroring you. So if you put out love and you put out kindness, now listen, there's a big difference from radiating love and attracting a very loving partner, then, but I'm always nice to people. I'm always so loving. I'm always so compassionate. I'm always so giving to people, and I'm still treated like shit. There's a very big difference between that type of behavior because you just want someone to love you in the way that you want to be loved. But the difference between someone that's really radiating love is your subconscious programming. You're doing all of these nice things and you are this truly nice person, but you have no boundaries. You don't believe someone should treat you well. You don't believe that you should be a priority in someone's life. So no matter how nice and good and loving you are, but why am I not getting that back into my life? Your subconscious programming. The real beliefs underneath of you. The real things that you truly believe inside. So Karen said, yeah, that energy can feel desperate. And people know that. It's like you're holding a sign that says, I will love you, I will nourish you, I will give you anything that you want, I will make you happy. But also, you don't have to do anything in return for me. I don't need to be treated good. You can treat me like shit and I'll still stick around because I don't have any boundaries. That's the sign that you're holding. So it's very different from being a person that's like, of course I have a loving relationship. I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of the greatest love. So I'm going to treat you amazing and you're also going to treat me amazing. That's the difference. Joe. So let's get back into this. Holding fast to confidence that a miracle is coming soon. Yes. Desperation energy is a repellent. It absolutely is a repellent, but just remember, like, what sign are you holding? So people are probably sitting there that haven't really been on my lives that much. Well, what am I supposed to do then? So it's called reprogramming the subconscious mind. There's so many. You're absolutely authentic. Our subconscious is running the show, and it takes stepping outside of our comfort zone daily in order to change. So that's what we're getting into, is the repetition. Subconscious programming is built on repetition. It's just like your ABCs. You didn't learn your ABCs by hearing them one time. You did them over and over, and every time you messed up, you started over again. A, B, C, F, G. And you're like, no, that's not right. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you did it 1,000 times. That is what programs the subconscious mind. You'll never forget your ABCs for the rest of your life. You don't have to even think about it. You don't have to think about riding a bike for most people. You don't have to think about how you make a cup of coffee. You don't have to think about how you get to your job. It's subconscious programming. You've done it repeatedly over and over and over again. Unless you're like me and you're directionally challenged and you still can't find your way around the corner, then that's a different story. But when you do things over and over again, it programs the subconscious mind. You don't think about it. I'm going to get in the shower. You're not thinking about, well, how do I turn on the water and which way is hot and cold? You don't even think about these things. That's a program. So the things that are things that we don't like within the subconscious. Joe, of course you are, Joe. We're kindred spirits. I can't read the comments because then I just forget what I'm saying. But again, reprogramming the subconscious mind is through repetition. One of the easiest things that is effortless. I say these things all the time. Listening to reprogramming the subconscious mind at nighttime. Not in headphones, obviously, not having your phone close to you. Your phone should be at least 5 or 6 feet from you while you sleep. I put my phone literally behind the bathroom wall and I put on the reprogramming stuff. So that my subconscious is listening to that. I'm asleep. But my subconscious is listening to that. So there's affirmation tapes, just saying things over and over again. You could even learn a language while you're asleep. You can literally put on subconscious programming to speak Spanish. And it'll say things to you over and over again. And then all of a sudden you'll wake up one day and you know how to speak friggin' Spanish. I did reprogram last night. Thanks for the reminder. Subconscious programming is through auto-suggestion, repetition, and trauma work. So that's the other thing is trauma work. So EMDR therapy is one of my favorites and I feel most beneficial. I've done Psych K and I probably didn't do Psych K long enough to really get the benefits of it, but I really love EMDR because it works on reprogramming the subconscious mind. It also works on resetting your central nervous system. Because some people, and I talked about this a long time ago, can't manifest because your mind is in a state of fight or flight. So you're constantly thinking on repeat, just obsessive thoughts all day long. And if that's you and something traumatic happened to you, that's probably the reason why. When something traumatic happens to us, and trauma is, looks different for everybody, right? So if you had something that was considered traumatic happen to you, there is a big chance that you are constantly living in a state of fight or flight. So every time someone says something to you, you get angry. Every time something happens, you always think that something bad is going to happen. It's a nervousness, right? It's something that you can't control, and you always feel like you're on the edge of your seat all the time because your brain literally changes shape when you go through trauma until you reprocess, until you reprogram. NET. I've never done, what are you talking about? NET. And then tell me. I've done way too many things in my life, then I forget about half of them. I'm like, oh, that's right, I did do that. I thought it worked better using headphones. I have earbuds that plug in. I need to do this. We get stuck. Ideally, it's better. Eye rapid movement. Yes, EMDR. Wait, I'm sorry. Oh, Jesus. It's better to use headphones, but would I ever recommend using headphones that are attached to something that is Wi-Fi connected? Absolutely not. Neuro-emotional technique. I've never tried it. That's new. I never tried it. Can you give a little background information for anybody that might want to try it on here? And I'm going to look it up as well. So thank you for that. I know I get off on different tangents because I'm answering things or we're talking to each other. There's so much wonderful energy when we start the day counting 10 things we're grateful for. Absolutely. Did I even talk about, excuse me. What I started to say in the very beginning of the live was being specific about the things that you want. So write down a list, no matter how outlandish it might seem to you. Oh, I want to open a 5-star resort in Madagascar. No matter how crazy or big you think that it is, there is no limitations in this matrix. There is no limitations whatsoever. So I was talking to somebody last week and I said, well, what are your goals with your business? And he said, to make $6,000 a week. And I was like, I said, you can go bigger than that. He's like, well, just to start that I can make $6,000 a week. And I said, but this is your world. Like, this is your manifestation. This is your limitless thoughts. So it's a matter of that thinking that we're still thinking a little bit smaller because like, how dare I think bigger than that? Like, that's not, realistic. It's still thinking with limitation. So when we're writing down this list of all the things that you want, both big and small, what are the things that will make you the happiest that you can do, even if it's right now? So your now list and your near future list, and then your future list. Write down those things so that you have a place to start. If you're in a funk, if you're feeling depressed and you're feeling stuck, that's what I was starting to say. Lindsay and I were saying, we're going to travel more this year. We're going to go to places where the sun is. We're going to be out in nature a lot more. Just that alone will shift my energy. What do you need to shift your energy? What book was I just reading that it was saying? I don't remember. It was saying literally just change your environment. I think it's the Science of Getting Rich. Yes. Do not wait for a change of environment before you act. Get a change of environment by action. You can so act upon the environment in which you are now as to cause yourself to be transferred to a better environment. Hold with faith and purpose the vision of yourself in the better environment, but act upon your present environment with all your heart, with all your strength, and with all your mind. Do not spend any time in daydreaming or castle building. Hold to the one vision of what you want and act on it now. Oh, NET. Okay, so that's similar to emotion code then. It kind of sounds like the same thing. Wait, I missed whatever your question was. Okay, so I'm just going to tap into this person. Wade, I have met a nice Ukraine lady. Hope to see her again. Lives with her father. Wait, are you just pulling my leg or am I just reading that wrong? Okay, let's just go with I've met a nice Ukraine lady. Hope to see her again. There's a story in one of these friggin' Neville Goddard books that are on my floor. And the story was about this woman that met a man. And from when she met him, she said, I know that this man is who I'm going to marry. This is back in the 40s. They didn't have cell phones. I don't know if they had phones, wherever this person was. But she had no way. She met this guy at a cafe or something. Had no way of getting in touch with this person. Nothing. But she said, that's the man that I'm going to marry. And every night before she went to sleep, she saw herself with this man. She would look down at her hand and she would see a wedding ring on her fourth finger. And she would see herself sleeping next to this person at night. She would do her visualizations every single night, every single day, or whatever that she had doubts about something. And I think it was in less than 30 days, she just happened to bump into this person or something along those lines. And she and the man were later married, probably a month or two later, because back in those times, they just got married for the fun of it. And, okay, hang on. I can't read comments and then continue to tell stories. So with the person that said, I met this Ukraine lady and I hope that, I get to see her again or whatever. It's all in your mind. You somehow manifested meeting a person that you really, really resonate with. So if you can create that experience in your mind, then you can also create the same experience that brings this person back to you, no matter if you have her phone number, if you have a way to get in touch with her, or if you don't. Life is crazy like that. But we draw these things to ourselves. Or you can be the person that says every day, wow, I really blew that. I'm never going to see this lady ever again. I can't believe it. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm never going to see this person. How am I ever going to make this work? This is crazy. And you doubt, you're right. She'll move to another country and probably get married to somebody else. The choice is yours. Quite literally. Okay, I'll look at his story. Hold on. Sometimes you guys don't you don't ask sentences in full sentences, and I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. This is a great quote. A man's life is the history of his fears. A man's life is the history of his fears. If you're a person that worries all the time, if you're a person that's constantly negative, a man's life is the history of his fears. Because I can promise you that if you're a person that's negative all the time and everything's a catastrophe and, oh my God, this happened to me today and, oh, this asshole cut me off. And that's the only program that you run all day long. I could tell you right now, a man's life is the history of his fears. Because if you think that you're going to be negative every single day and, oh my God, I stubbed my toe and then the rest of my day turned to shit, that fear is not going to, and bad things and unfortunate things are not going to be your future life, you're kidding yourself. You cannot be a negative person all day long that believes that a dark cloud follows you all the time. And I just have the worst luck. How many people have you said, yeah, I just don't have that kind of luck? That person's just lucky. No, that person's just in a state of being where they believe that they can have everything that they want easily and effortlessly. It's really that simple. So a man's life is a history of his fears. Why not make it the history of your faith? So someday you can say, this is the health that faith built. This is the wealth that faith built. Doubts and fears are sins, for they impress negative pictures on the mind stuff and bring lack, limitation, or disaster to pass. Does anybody need me to read that again? Guys, I don't know if you guys are just like some of these comments. That's deep. That's literally the opposite of there is nothing to fear but fear itself. I love it. Oh, somebody's trolling in here. I mean, I don't know if people are just bored. Like, do people come in my lives to troll because you're really that bored? Like, I don't know. I guess so. Because at 9:30 in the morning, wherever the hell that I am in the world, I'm not going on somebody's live and be like, hey, I'm just going to troll people because I really have no life. Very strange. So your history will follow that. If you're coming into someone's life or existence to bother them, to annoy people, to troll things, I can guarantee you that that's what's going to follow, and that's how the rest of your life is going to unfold because you have nothing better to do. Anyway, that's your own manifestation, not mine. I'm just on a roll today. You know why I'm on a roll today? I'll tell you why I'm on a friggin' roll today. Because I have 3 patches on right now. One here, X39, X49. But the reason why I'm talking really fast today is because I have the carnosine that's on the back of my neck. Carnosine, whenever I'm in a bad mood or whenever I feel like just that my mind stuff is off, you put a carnosine on the back of your neck, forget it, you're done. You know why? Because it's scientifically proven, not because of the patches, but because if you supplement with carnosine itself, clinically proven to rebalance the brain from mental illness. That's bipolar, that's schizophrenia, that's all these things. Look up carnosine. Look up the benefits of carnosine. Hold on. Joe, you can't tell who the troll is. Never mind. We ain't giving it no airtime. After I already did. Okay. So again, I'm going to read that same sentence. Doubts and fears are sins, for they impress negative pictures on the mind stuff and bring lack. Doubts and fears will bring you lack, limitation, or disaster to pass. Have faith in the affirmations that you use. So if you're not clear on what it is that you want, how can you use any affirmations? If you really don't know what you want, I think there's some deeper things going on, but I think everyone knows what they truly want. It's just most people don't believe that they can have them, whether it's big things or small things. So homework for the new 2024, not the new year, it's the fake new year. Write down the things that you want, big and small. So you have a point to start with. Okay, what can I do now that can bring me closer to the things that I'm writing down? I can visualize. I can you can do your visualizations. You can build an affirmation around that, around your want. Marissa Peer on YouTube has a great I am. I don't know what the rest of that says. But again, it all comes back to your I amness. Your I amness. What is, someone said world peace. That's a big one. But the truth in the matter is, you start with that peace yourself. If we want true world peace, the peace has to start within ourselves. We cannot continue to point fingers at all of these figureheads that are not creating peace when we're not creating peace within ourselves first. Because when you create peace within yourself, you're creating peace for other people that are around you. And then other people are creating peace because you created peace within you. They're creating more peace within themselves. And then it spreads. We don't create world peace by trying to change anyone outside of ourselves. Oh, okay. I am meditation. Thank you for that. Never use a statement that does not give you a feeling of security. I'm going to just leave it at that. We didn't even get to the signs of getting rich. Never use a statement that does not give you a feeling of security. I'll never have that. I can't afford to do this. I would love to go out to dinner today, but I just don't have the money. I could never have that kind of love. I just have bad luck. I'm always sick all the time. I never feel good. My back hurts. Do any of those statements give you a feeling of security? Never use a statement that does not give you a feeling of security. Our body is listening. Our mind is listening. So if every day or any time we want or feel the need to complain about something, talk bad about someone else, think negatively of ourselves, I look in the mirror, I look so fat, I look disgusting, I wish I was this. Those are not statements that give you security. I have it all, I just have to be open to receive. As it sounds, and switch it for positive self, auto-suggestion, good friends. Guys, these are not, there's some of these statements are just not like coherent statements, and I don't know how I'm supposed to interpret them. A lot of people are receiving constant auto-suggestion, like messaging from every direction, whether from toxic friends, relationships, media, etc. Start by cutting off anything negative, which was my, are you doing Ujjayi breaths? No, was I? I do them so much, that's also subconscious. But I do Ujjayi breathing all the time. But my messaging yesterday was about people that had that blew up because of COVID, and because they were speaking out, that are now only doing things specifically to get more attention, to get more comments, that are not in their authentic selves. They're sensationalists, they're fake and phony, and they only do things for clicks and for money. And I was talking about that, and it was triggering for some people, because a lot of people will use Jesus and claim that Jesus is their Lord and Savior and all these things, and then all they're doing is dividing people. All they're doing is showing things up, of certain races of people doing things, and race baiting and all these things. And so that can only help people that are following this messaging to stay in that mind state. Even if you don't stop to see it, when you scroll past it, your subconscious mind sees what the messaging is. So if you don't want these things in your reality, then get them out of any view of your subconscious mind. Stop watching TV that just posts propaganda all the time. Even films, everything has these subliminal messaging, and our subconscious mind eats that stuff, and it stores that stuff. So if you don't want to be in the mindset of divisiveness and fear and hopelessness, stop following these people that are literally leading you directly off of a cliff, because they're only doing it for their own personal gain. They don't want to help the collective. Maybe it started out like that before, but it's not that way now. And it's very disheartening, because some of those people were considered my friends, and they're not my friends anymore. And one day I will call them out by name, because I can't stand for people to continue to send me their messaging when it's only rooted in fear, and it's not rooted in love, like they claim that they're of love and light and peace. They're full of shit. So we'll conclude for today, and I hope that was helpful for people. This week I stopped following so many people because of that, or so many pages because of that. And that's just what we have to do, get it out of our consciousness. Get it out of our consciousness. What was the sentence that I read? So never use a statement that does not give you a feeling of security, in the same token of never looking at something that doesn't give you a sense of security. If we're watching things constantly that don't make us feel good, we're programming our mind to continue to not feel good. We're programming our mind to continue to look for other things that are similar to that don't make us feel good. So if you're scrolling on your Instagram or you're on social media and you see people that are constantly making you feel insecure without security, it's time to reevaluate that information. Not because you should be blind to it or anything like that, But the way that these people are putting out this stuff, they only want your engagement with their page so that they get more followers. They don't give a shit about you. They don't care about anybody. So if you want to continue to, or if you want to manifest the life that you really want, you have to get the things out of your consciousness that are holding you back from having the expansive life that you can have. Very strange, Karen. Okay, you're getting blocked now, so I'll see you later. Not you, Karen, the person that's just saying just dumb shit. On New Year's Eve, I cleared all my social media accounts, YouTube, and emails for this purpose. If you want to have the expansive life, we have to stop focusing on the negative, derogatory, dark things. Because ultimately, you get to create the life that you want. And when you create that life that you want, is the divisiveness, is the hateful, are all those things included in that? That's only a question that you could answer. But from what I said from the very beginning, write down a list of the things that would make you truly happy. Without limitation. No matter how crazy it might be. Write it all down. Listen, the trolls just had fun coming in here. I mean, they have no life, clearly. But we're in here to better ourselves. So regardless of people that are so pathetic that they come in here and do that, it's not going to deter us from the path of having the greatest life that we want to have. So I hope that everybody has an amazing weekend. I forgot what day it was. Cutting back on all social media this year, that brings my vibe down. That's the only way to do it. One of the ways, rather. Is just not seeing this stuff, not seeing this stuff. So have a beautiful weekend, and I will see you on Monday morning for Manifesting Mondays.